The third book, Eye of the Hurricane, is specific to families working or living with somebody who might be aggressive or mentally ill. It's about 1/3 of the Grace Under Fire book by way of explanation. So the family books are on the left, the professional books are on the right, hence my advertisement. So you're welcome to talk to me about that stuff later. You might notice the lights are up. I don't do PowerPoint. I don't know how to do PowerPoint, and I'm hoping that I can die without ever learning. I've been to so many trainings where the lights go dim, and the next thing that happens is the trainer, when the PowerPoint goes off, the trainer doesn't know what to say. So hopefully I know what to say without the machine. I also don't have a handout, and the reason I don't have a handout is I wrote books for that purpose, number one, and number two, what I was finding happen was, and some of you may be in a teaching capacity, we have made things so easy to learn that people sometimes turn off because they figure it's in the handout. And so actually, if this material is important, I assume people take notes like I used to when I was young. Be that as it may, what I'm going to try to do is talk about the various patterns of aggression and hopefully make it as entertaining as possible. This is interactive in the sense that at any moment, if you have a thought, a question, or an objection, please feel free to raise your hand. Don't wait for me to stop talking because I can just keep going and going and going. And if you're polite, you'll never get a word in. But if you raise your hand, I'm quite happy to answer any question. I'm happy to go into any tangent you want because this should be relevant to your own job function. If I'm presenting information that is not going to help keep you safe, then you've wasted your time. If this information assists you in staying safer on your job site, and safe doesn't only mean safe from attack, but safe from the kind of small nagging aggressions which eat the pleasure out of a day and make you go home at the end of the day wishing you hadn't got up in the morning, which is a terrible way to return home at night. So, that as an introduction, what do people do when they're aggressive? But even before what do people do, is aggression always a problem? Is aggression a negative trait? If a trait was absolutely negative, it would have been bred out of us a long time ago. Because anything that is not helpful to survival tends to get eliminated. For example, if you were unkind enough to take a baby, a newborn baby, and cradle it in your hand and go like this, which would be a mean thing to do, the baby would instantaneously curve its spine and the hands and legs would come forward. Why? A little louder? He's clutching, right? She doesn't want to fall. And so we have this reflex all the way back to our ancestors before we were people. That if you're falling out of a tree and you do this, what's going to happen? You're going to die. You won't reproduce. And so we have these reflexes that will disappear if they are not helpful. So what's chilling about that in one sense is aggression has a survival value, and so there will probably never be a period of life when people are unaggressive. People who are utterly unaggressive don't know how to speak up for themselves. People who are unaggressive are so totally unaggressive, are so shocked when someone is aggressive, they're either emotionally devastated or not able to protect themselves. One form of aggression that is absolutely unique in the way that the brain responds is what could be called maternal aggression, but as a larger sense, protective aggression, where you are protecting something vulnerable, small, and weak, and that the brain fires entirely differently for that type of aggression. That justified, you will not harm that which is close to me, or which is important to me. So many types of aggression are helpful. At the same time, some become problematic. And particularly at times where the economy is going down and all of that, we have more people who are more desperate. Aggression becomes a problem-solving activity. It becomes a way of managing that which cannot be managed otherwise, at least so that person believes. It's our task when we're doing de-escalation to prove to that person you are more likely to get what you want, or more of what you want, if you aren't aggressive. So the first kind of aggression we're going to see is if you have somebody, and we're just looking at behaviors now because we'd like to recognize and anticipate problems, somebody who is nervous, anxious, mistrustful, frightened.